Hello and welcome to Skills to Pay the Bills. I'm your host, Tia Young. Our returning guest is a certified mentor and outreach coordinator for the Washington, D.C. SCORE chapter. And he is going to talk to us about individuals over 50 years old who are ready to become successful entrepreneurs. Yes, you can. Please welcome Skills to Pay the Bills' favorite small business mentor, Emeritus, Walt Abbott. Walt, hello.
Hi.
How are
Good,
you?
Good
It's
to
so good to
see
see you again.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been a while.
It has.
Yeah, you've been all over, out of the country, and doing all kinds of things.
And you've been busy with all
Yeah.
kinds of activities. So
I have. You're
yeah,
right.
we both have excuses, but not really.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's always good to have you here.
Thank
with
you.
us.
It's good to be here.
So thank you. Walter, this is my favorite question. I have to always ask it. Who is SCORE and what is your mission?
Well, SCORE is an all-volunteer organization that was started 55 years ago. So we've been around a long, long time. Not that I started 55 years ago, although I could have. But we try to provide, and we do provide, free mentoring one-on-one to small business clients and to anyone who's interested in starting a small business. I know you have one of our SCORE mentors,
Yes.
but what we would be doing is just sitting down like we are here and talking about the business and offering suggestions and recommendations. So it's an organization. We have webinars and seminars as well and workshops. So if anyone is interested, they should go to our SCORE website, which is washingtondc.score.org. Thanks.
And I would say the mentor, the SCORE mentor that we have is wonderful, you know, and I thank you so much for that recommendation.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The only thing that I regret is that we did not start earlier with her in the very beginning, almost at the thought of going into business, you know, because I think a lot of things that we've gone through that haven't been necessarily positive, we would not have had to suffer through some things had we done that early on.
Well, one of the things that SCORE mentors provide in most cases is a knowledge of mistakes that they have made. And so what they try to do is to help our clients avoid those mistakes, as well as put them in the right path and the right direction for starting and growing their business.
Right. I had a question come to me not so long ago, and while I knew the answer on the inside of me, I didn't do a very good job of giving this person an answer. So I'm going to ask you that question. What is the difference between a SCORE workshop and the SCORE mentorship program? And should you blend the two, or if you're going to the workshops, does that mean you don't need a mentor? Or if you've got a mentor, does that mean that you don't need to go to the workshops?
Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, all of the above.
No. Our workshops are available to anyone, whether you are a client of SCORE or not. And they provide a wealth of good opportunities for the small businesses, from starting a business, doing a business plan. We have a whole list of particular workshops for government contracting. So we recommend to our clients that they do attend workshops, but that's not mandatory either. So we have the two. We like to link them together because they really are beneficial in different ways, and certainly I appreciate you asking about the two.
Yes. Well, Walter, you know, things, we're living in a very different world today. And I'm meeting a lot of people who have either retired already or some that are thinking about retiring. But the ones that have retired, they thought that they could retire, and they've come to find out that they can't. Some of them they've had a vision for a very long time of being an entrepreneur, but they were afraid to take that step, and then the family came, and then they had to work, and you know. So some of them are just afraid to take that step after 50. What would you say to them, and how could SCORE help someone who is 50 and above, they're not retired, I mean, they're not working anymore, they've retired, and they really do want to start that first business?
Well, there's a term that AARP has come up with called Encore Entrepreneurs. And what that envisions is someone who has had a job, whether they had a small business or actually worked for someone else, but now they're getting to the point where they feel like they could open their own small business. Now, certainly they don't have to be retired in order to do it, but that would help in many cases. But the concept is that just because you're over 50, it doesn't mean you can't start a small business and you can't be successful.
So what, when you say, I'm going to use the acronym EE for this Encore Entrepreneur, that's what it's called. So are there a lot of EEs around, and what types of small businesses do EEs create?
Well, there are a large number, and in an NPR survey that was done about 1.5 years ago, there were more Encore entrepreneurs than there were millennials entrepreneurs. So now some of those probably are people that have had businesses for a good while, but then now they've passed the age of 50. Right. But the key thing is that there are wealth of opportunities and experiences. And to answer the question about what kinds of business, it runs the gamut. There isn't any particular area or focus or limitation on what an Encore entrepreneur can start as, or could grow in the way of a business.
So whatever that vision is that they have,
yes.
they can just go for it.
That's right.
Right. So what are the 3 questions in your mind that a person would need to kind of answer before they got started out?
Well, the first thing is, what kind of feelings do you have about taking a risk? As senior citizens or Encore entrepreneurs, we know an awful lot more about what can happen and what does happen as far as finances are concerned and other circumstances. So you need to be in a position where you are comfortable taking a risk. The difference in many cases between the young people and senior citizens is that the senior citizens are coming with a wealth of experience and will make smart risks, not risks that are frivolous.
Right, right, okay.
The second thing is, can you start a business part-time? And the answer to that is absolutely. In fact, we recommend in many cases that you keep your existing job, and if you have something that you feel like you can do, and that it may even be a hobby of some kind, like making jewelry or a particular recipe that you have been very successful with. And the key thing there is to do that part-time and then have the existing paycheck still coming in until you're ready to cut the cord and go full-time. Right,
because it is important to have some finances.
Oh yeah,
there.
Yeah. We all of us need
that. Yeah,
the foundations there.
Right.
And then the third thing leads right into that. What are your financial goals with your small business? And in order to do that, you need to think about, if I am working part-time, what do I want to get out of it to supplement my existing income? But if I am doing the business full-time, what do I need in order to succeed and to survive? What kind of expenses, fixed expenses do I have? What is my home budget and all those sort of things? So you need to have that idea, and then you need to also pay yourself. You need to get money out of it so that you're not always a charity helping others.
Like me.
Like you. Yeah.
Like me.
I didn't want to say that.
You didn't want to say that. You didn't say that. So where can EEs get help starting, either they're starting out or maybe they get in trouble. Maybe some of the things that you've said, they're already out there and they're in trouble. Are there places to go? I know that sometimes you guys work with AARP.
We do.
And we've got a couple of great links that we're gonna show. But talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, AARP has a webinar series on Encore Entrepreneurs, and they are excellent programs talking about a number of different subjects that a new business needs to be aware of. And so they are an excellent resource. SCORE in our national chapter has a wealth of webinars as well, whether they're focused strictly on Encore Entrepreneurs or whether they're just focused on how to start or how to run or how to succeed in business. And to find those, you would just go to our national website, score.org.
Okay. And I want to say, too, you've got a great template for a business plan.
Yes.
Because a lot of people kind of get fearful about that business plan. And your business plan is not 80 pages, like, and it's free.
Well, it's
right?
free. It's free, and it is a good template. It's designed for the average person who doesn't have a wealth of financial background or writing skills and what have you. So it is a good option.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a short station break, and we will return after these important messages. And we're going to get right back with Walt Abbott, Certified Mentor and Outreach Coordinator for Washington, D.C. SCORE Chapter.
SCORE is a non-for-profit that has been around for 51 years. Our sole purpose in life is to help entrepreneurs get their business up and running, and our slogan is for the life of your business.
For 30 years, I grew a marketing and advertising company, and then I had the benefit of a SCORE mentor to help me make that transition and make the sale of my business. At that point, when I finally retired, I decided it was now my turn to give back and to volunteer as a SCORE mentor. And I can't tell you how satisfying and gratifying it is to work with new business owners, to see that enthusiasm and that spark, and have the opportunity to help direct and guide their plan.
I actually came to SCORE when it was just a thought about developing civility management solutions, and was introduced to Mr. Fred Elam as my mentor because I am a veteran-owned business and a woman-owned business, and he had experience with working with those kind of companies. The great joy of it, though, was when I realized I was actually being mentored by a 3-star general. And as a staff NCO in the military, it was just interesting to now have a 3-star general as my mentor. He helped me develop civility management solutions and walked me through a lot of steps, and we made sure that I had an accountant and an attorney. So the foundation of civility management solutions was strong based on the advice I got from my SCORE mentor, Mr. Elam.
I've always been impressed by the initiative and the intelligence of most of my SCORE clients, and I'm very happy to say that many of them have been successful in their business careers.
We work with clients who are at the idea stage in the development of their business, all the way through companies that are up and running, have revenue, have sales, and are looking for operational excellence.
I'm a pharmacist at Germantown Professional Pharmacy and Compounding. We've been in business for 4 months now. Let's say that none of this would have been possible without the help of my mentor from SCORE. They have helped us throughout the entire process. Mainly where I benefited the most is the negotiation with the lease and how I obtained my finances for starting the new business.
There's workshops on writing a winning business plan. There's how to get a GSA schedule. There's franchising workshops. A whole wealth of knowledge and experience is available for free at SCORE.
And if you are interested in getting a mentoring appointment or learning about our workshops, our national website is www.score.org. Once you're at that website, you can request a mentoring appointment with one of our mentors.
SCORE is probably the best kept secret in town. I would encourage anyone interested in launching a new business, whether it be brick and mortar, consulting, online, seek out the advice of a SCORE mentor in your community. You'll gain knowledge, experience, and wisdom from people that have been there and done that.
Welcome back. You're watching Skills to Pay the Bills with our special guest, Walt Abbott, Certified Mentor and Outreach Coordinator for the Washington, D.C. SCORE Chapter. Walter, before the break, we were talking a little bit about the Entrepreneurs link that AARP has, and we also talked about the template, which is great. And you mentioned something earlier that I want to take us back to, and that was, can a hobby be turned into a business? I've heard both sides of that. Some people have said, oh, you know, if you turn it into a business and you don't have anything to do to have fun with. And then I've heard other people say, well, no, you know, that's great to make your hobby your business. What say SCORE?
Well, we are always recommending that someone who is interested in doing or starting a business have expertise in the particular area where they're actually starting, whether that be a shoe salesman or a computer expert. But by having a hobby, you have created something, whether it be jewelry or some other kinds of material products that you may feel are worth selling because you've been able to sell them to your friends and family. And so that would certainly fill in for or be a good response for anyone with a hobby. The tricky part is you don't want to make your hobby your job unless you really, really feel like it's something that you can make a profit at and avoid the risks and the other issues that we had in our previous session.
Like I know some people's hobby is watching television.
Oh,
that might not be a good one.
Yeah,
couch potato.
I am a great free sell guy, but I'm not going to make any money.
Right, right. So the thing is if you can make money off of that hobby.
That's right.
Right.
And how you go about monetizing it is different from just talking to it with your friends and family.
Right. Is that something that a SCORE representative a mentor would help you to kind of noodle through that? If you hadn't started yet and you were thinking about it, could they help you with that to help you make a good decision on whether your hobby is going to make money or not?
Absolutely. And in fact, when I was giving the examples of places where you can get help, I didn't mention the SCORE mentoring one-on-one. I've had a number of clients over the years that have started businesses in their 50s and 60s and have been very successful. One of the things we focus on is how do you gauge your financial needs and what are the issues that you have to be aware of so that you're not taking your savings and your retirement and losing that in addition to not having your regular income. So we really work very closely with our clients. And again, the skills that a person over 50 has are so much more honed in a way because of the life experience that they have actually participated in.
Right, that's right. What special traits do EEs have to help them succeed?
Well, the first is life experience, which I just mentioned. As seniors, we have been through a lot of experiences, many of which have been adversarial or created some adversity. And with that and succeeding at that, it gives us confidence in order to take the risks of starting a business, because we know that in a difficult situation, we're going to be able to work through, find the solution, and keep on continuing to make the business successful.
Right, right, right.
The second is that we have large networks. As the outreach coordinator for SCORE, I attend probably 1 or 2 events a week where small businesses are the focus. And I meet so many different people at those events. I did a webinar on Encore Entrepreneurship with AARP, and I've done some other webinars and cable television productions. But what I find is that I have such a wealth of expertise and knowledge that comes in tremendously handy, because I may have a client who could benefit from the expertise or the experience of someone else.
Yeah.
So that I have that ability to draw on this very vast network. Whereas if I were younger, my network would be rather limited as compared to someone that is my age anyway.
You're still a young man.
Yes, 75, I'm glad to say.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. Well, now when you talk about the network that an older person has and who's worked and they kind of been out there, does SCORE also have a network that could help that person with, or does it not go that far?
No, we do have, I mean, just within our mentor group, throughout the country, we have 11,000 volunteers, and every one of those volunteers has a particular expertise. And so whenever we run across a situation where one of our clients has an unusual business that they're interested in starting, and I'll give an extreme example, not that it's big here in Washington, D.C., but someone might be interested in becoming a farrier. Now, a farrier is someone who shoes horses.
Right.
So we don't have a lot of horses here. We have a few with the horse guards and all that sort of thing. But if you wanted to be a farrier, I would go to our network of SCORE mentors and find someone in Kentucky who actually did it as part of their experience in racing, in horse racing. So we have that network. Plus we have a list of what we call preferred providers. These are people that have helped us over the years in providing special or specific expertise. For instance, we have one of our workshops is how to start a business. And in that workshop, we have an attorney, we have an accountant, we have an insurance person, and we have several others. Each of those are not SCORE mentors, but they are on our preferred provider list to provide legal advice or accounting advice or what have you. And what we would do with our clients is give them a choice of 2 or 3 particular areas or particular firms that are in the area they're interested in. So with all of those, we probably can solve the issues that anyone might have.
Right. We have a little less than 3 minutes to go, but here's something I want you to address, if you can. About 4 months ago, I was doing an event. And at most of my events, they're small business events. I am talking about SBA, and I'm also talking about SCORE. After the presentation was over, this one person came to me and said, Tia, I don't know why you bring up SCORE, because SCORE mentors, they either get paid or you have to give them money under the table. And I'm saying, that's not true. I said, I've been working with SCORE on different levels for a number of years now, like about 4 or 5 years. I said, they are absolutely free. I said, these are in most cases, the mentor is retired, from business, and they come in and they take their own time to work with us. And they absolutely don't take, money under the table. Can you just address that and kind of put that to rest in a better way than what I could do? I mean, I was mad.
No, I can absolutely put that to rest. I always kid when I'm giving a presentation that I get paid by applause. and I always tell them that beforehand so that I get a bigger hand than I would if I didn't say it. But we are all volunteers. We all, not all of us, but most of us are retired. Most of us have been successful in our own business areas, and we feel like we want to give back to the community, and that's the real key thing. We have a wealth of experience and knowledge, and we don't want to just sit at home and do free sale all the time.
Right, right.
So it is free. There is no under the table, no bribes or anything else.
Okay.
So, but I would like to pitch one thing that we have coming up. On March 21st, we're going to be, we being the SCORE operation, are going to have an all-women's workshop at the George Mason Arlington campus. And we're hoping to have between 200 and 300 women attend. Now, obviously, we can't just restrict it to women, but the focus is on women.
That's good.
And it's called We Thrive, W-E, meaning Women Entrepreneurs, Thrive.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and we're going to have keynotes as well as panels and breakout sessions that will address a myriad of the things that the women entrepreneurs need and want.
Okay, this is good. Michelle and I will, make sure that we are there.
All right.
We need to be there. Walter, thank you so much. I give you an applause.
I am paid.
Thank you so much. You're welcome here anytime.
All right.
And I just want to thank our guests today for watching Skills to Pay the Bills. We hope this show has encouraged those individuals who are 50 years old and above to seriously think about becoming entrepreneurs. There's nothing to stop you but fear, and you have lived long enough and gone through enough in your lives to handle being your own boss. Let's face it, many of us have given all of our time to somebody else's vision. It's about time for us to give some quality attention to our own vision. If you have questions about starting your own business or you're fired up and ready to go, contact the SCORE site at www.washingtondc.score.org. Remember, SCORE is a free service, so it costs you nothing but a little time to schedule an appointment with an official SCORE representative in your geographical area. Be safe and have a wonderful day. See you next week, same time, same place, for another great Skills to Pay the Bills show. Bye-bye.